welcome back to another episode of Too Many Frames, the show where we talk about video games, anime, and all things in between. Starting off today's show right with one of the biggest pieces of news, we had our last Nintendo Direct where the Nintendo Switch was the mainline console last week. It was a huge shock and kind of came out of nowhere, but it was still a somewhat pleasant surprise. In it, we got a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4, showcasing Samus's new psychic abilities while traversing a new planet that's alien to her. We also saw more Pokemon Legends ZA, where they showcased what our main goal was in the game, quite literally going from rank Z to A in the Z to A tournament that is only held in Lumio City. Now, no new megas were revealed, but I'm expecting another trailer later on in April showcasing new characters and Pokemon alike. After that, we got a brand new Rhythm Heaven game called Rhythm Heaven Groove, our first new entry in the series in almost a decade, and similarly, our last major Nintendo announcement was the long-awaited Tomodachi Life sequel, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, once again a whole 10 years since our last entry. It features a small island that looks like we can see our Miis walk around it instead of the original hotel setting, and of course has a bunch of goofy and insane scenarios to experience. I'm curious of how much of the OG gameplay will return, considering that there were a few game mechanics like rocking a baby to sleep and others that really required a camera, but all in all, it was a solid Direct for me. But I do know that a lot of people were not really happy with it because their expectations were extremely high. I'm personally of the opinion that they made this Direct to kind of just hold us over while simultaneously warming us up for whatever we see in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in the next couple of days. If it's already up by now, I'm gonna go ahead and do some self-promo. I have a video about my last predictions for the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct and what we will see in it. If you guys are interested and want to go ahead and check it out. It should already be up on the channel by the time that this video goes up. Go ahead and check it out. It should be on the channel already. Just go ahead and click the video tab, or it'll be recommended to you right after this video. Secondly, I will also be streaming the event on Wednesday at 5 a.m. in the morning. So if you're interested in watching at the crack of dawn, I will be there with my live reaction, with the VOD for the live reaction going up shortly after. In other news, Monster Hunter Wilds hit an insane 10 million sales in the first month, which is a sales record for any Capcom game. The Pokemon Company put out a statement about how hard it is to get more packs for Pokemon cards, with the new Journey Together set being sold out everywhere due to scalpers. They stated that they will make more packs in high production in order to allow more people to enjoy the hobby and keep collecting cards, and seemingly drive down any price that the resellers are trying to sell these packs for. This guy bought thousands of dollars worth of cards and merch to resell, and is dropping the price from $2,700 to $1,900. If the Pokemon Company keeps their promise, then this will drive the price and value of these boxes even lower into the ground, which is a plus if you ask me. The more people that are allowed to enjoy the hobby, the better. In other news, YourRage had his battle with MoistCritikal on Pokemon Showdown and got completely obliterated. If you didn't know already, YourRage put out a hit list claiming that he could fight a handful of streamers and beat them in Pokemon. He already beat XQC and like a week later fought Charlie in the second match. Now keep in mind, MoistCritikal, also known as Charlie, has been only playing for less than 2 weeks before their battle, and these games were insanely close. But what's even worse is that he beat YourRage 5 times in a row and did not let him win a single time. This is the craziest shit I've seen in a minute, especially when Rage was talking about how Shofu was washed and dusty and old. Now Shofu saw the news and responded saying, "Called me washed and got smoked by a nigga that started playing last week." Rage responded claiming that he was drunk and it was needed for story purposes, but honestly it's too late for him. Game 1, that nigga popped his Terra when he was at 15% HP because of a fucking bear tick. I don't know why. I guess he expected the icicle crash to come out there, but even then you don't pop your Terra that late into the game. Like, it really doesn't make any sense. Now Rage was kind of hard on himself and stated that he wanted to play more Mons with actual showdown heads like Blunder and Blim to get back in his prime.
Pokemon Stripes back.
You have to get your stripes back by going undefeated in this ladder, bro. And at the end, you're gonna say, okay, we hit a bump in the road, and then you spin back to that bump, and then you beat Charlie.
Shofu. From here on out,
Yo,
I get to your ass.
you are him. I just seen a fucking tweet saying you 5-0 MoistCritikal.
I disconnected him. I'm not doing this right now. Shofu, I have no right to call you washed anymore. until further notice. We're both washed, but I'm more washed right now. I gotta get in the lab. From now on, YourRage, I'm changing the password to the YourRage Z account, bro. You know, but no, it's not slutted out no more. Y'all can't use it, gang. I'm sorry. I'm changing that motherfucker. I gotta lock in, bro. I need to stick to my elo and rake up and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm changing that shit. It's not a slutted out account no more. I'm sorry. You can't touch it. Okay. Shofu, I will no longer call you ass until further notice. I lost to a grunt. I got too cocky. How do you train in randoms?
And Ash Banks. He's hum.
You know how I'm gonna play? You know who I'm gonna play in randoms?
Who are you gonna play?
Where them goats at, chat? Where Blim at? I don't wanna play them in randoms. That's who I wanna play in randoms. For practice, though. You know what I'm saying? Blunder. Blunder, like, let's play these randoms, bro. This is a different world. I underestimated. Next stream we gotta practice some randoms, brother.
All this angle
It was free though, like he was live. We're never live at the same time.
Hey man, get to training, man. Good luck.
My honest thoughts are that he just needs to play the game more. He really does. He was saying, how do you just train in Showdown? Bro, quite literally, that's all that my friends do when it comes to getting better at Pokemon, bro. Like, I have a few friends that wanted to get into Mons. We were just saying, just play Pokemon Showdown. That's it. If you want to get good at the game, just play Showdown. You don't really need to do that much else. It's very easy. You get to see a whole bunch of different scenarios. You get to see a whole bunch of different, like, Pokemon and what their power sets are and see how they interact with each other. It gives you a lot of game knowledge, and that's what I think that Pokemon really comes down to. It's just game knowledge, like elite ball knowledge, you know. You can only really get that with experience in the game, and you can't just, you know, sort of think that, hey, you know, I played this game since Generation 5, I should be able to watch this nigga, when in reality, you lost to a nigga that recently just started playing. And he also just knew more fundamentals and basic knowledge. Like, that entire time, Charlie wasn't really even using stab moves just to hit stab moves. He was like, well, if I don't have a super effective move, I'm gonna switch out, or I'm gonna go do this, and that. Which, I mean, like, look, it's fine, but he wasn't even really using any of the most elite gameplay knowledge that he could have, and he still ended up beating you 5-0. So this really is a skill issue. If you want to say that you were drunk or whatever, I don't care. You didn't win a single fucking game, bro. I could win a game of Pokemon while drunk, guaranteed, with my hands tied behind my back. So I really don't want to hear the excuses, especially when you were saying that Shofu was washed and that you've been playing the game for as long as him. I do think that playing with Blunder and Blim is a good idea, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough to beat Shofu though. I definitely think it'll be enough to get the run back on Moist if Moist isn't continuously playing. And honestly, I'm really happy that Charlie is actually excited to continue playing Pokemon. I don't know if he's gonna keep playing Showdown randomly on streams. I think it is fun watching him play. I think it is cool to see him get better. I would like to see him collaborate with other Pokemon heads just so that way he could get better. But if he doesn't, it's fine. I do think that it was just a fun little experience to see, even though if this was like a mini arc for him and he was like, yeah, my Pokemon arc is now over, I'm gonna end it on a high note. That's 100% fine. I get that, but I do think that we'll eventually be seeing Rage get his get back, and whether he wins and comes ready, that's up to him. But if Charlie does take it even more seriously, I was telling my friends this earlier, if Charlie ends up giving like a whole year of training just playing Mons, he would be fucking nasty, bro. He just needs to like actually talk to other Showdown heads and like enter a tournament. I think he would actually go crazy, especially if it's a random battles tournament. I'm not expecting him to like make his own team or whatever, but I do think that he could be extremely good at this game, especially since he was doing pretty good at randoms with, especially, bro, I don't want to talk about it too much, but Rage had a Zacian in the last game and lost. So I don't know, bro. Deadass, I think it is just a skill issue in that Charlie's that good. But look, Rage, if you need some help, if you need some mocks, if you need some training, I'm here, bro. I got you. I can help you out. But I don't know, bro. Blunder said he's gonna have you go through the fucking crazy ass gauntlet, bro. You're gonna be grinding with him, bro. So we'll see. We finally got some news about the Zelda movie earlier on this week. We found out that it is already in development in New Zealand and will be a trilogy. It seems like throughout the trilogy, Link will be preparing to fight Ganon while collecting valuable artifacts that will allow him to come out victorious. Now, they are reporting that the movie will start shooting from November 2025 to April 2026, so I fully expect to see a trailer closer to December 2026 and a cast reveal later this year in September. I'm personally cautiously excited. Like, the guy that is making the movie made Blade Runner, so it's not really that like enticing for me, but I also think that the movie will be super inaccurate just because Nintendo's gonna be a part of this, and I don't think that Miyamoto's gonna let Zelda like be represented in a bad light. Like, even people could say whatever they want about the Mario movie playing it safe, but I personally would prefer a Mario movie playing it safe than taking a huge risk that ends up turning me off from the series. Now, whether this movie trilogy ends up being a classic, we will just have to wait and see, but I am very excited to see who does play some of these characters. I'm wondering if they're going to just make Link a kid first and then later on throughout the trilogy, since it is going to be apparently in development for 6 years. They might just have him start off as like young Link, you know, like just this Link as a kid, and then just age up naturally, with Link being an adult by the end of the series. So I'm very interested to see what they do. That's what I hope that they do. I think it'll be really cool to see that. It'll be really cool if they do like some Ocarina of Time shenanigans, or maybe if they wanted to go like, yeah, I really think it's gonna actually just be that. It's gonna be probably Ocarina of Time, maybe a little bit of Majora's Mask. I could see like Link losing in the first movie, and you know, Hyrule kind of goes into like darkness and chaos and whatnot, and then he kind of uses, you know, the masks and Majora's Mask maybe, or some shit. But I do think it's just gonna be an Ocarina of Time ass movie without him aging up in it. I think it might just be like him going around, we just see Link being Link, and then eventually he loses, and then we go to Majora's Mask shit, and then we go into like, I guess the future part of Ocarina of Time. It's not gonna really make sense. I don't know. It doesn't really make that much sense with how I'm explaining it, but hopefully it makes sense to somebody. I just think that we're gonna get young Link, and then Link goes on a training arc for the second movie, and then in the third movie he's fully grown up and he's ready to take on Ganon. But we will see. Maybe in the second trilogy we can see a whole new cast of villains and all that. But I do want to see like a big villain that isn't Ganondorf in one of these movies. You know, I do want to see somebody kind of take the reins and be like, all right, look, Link, we're gonna beat your ass. I don't know who it would be. Who knows what it could be, but we'll just have to end up waiting and seeing. But with that being said, that is gonna be the end of today's episode. Like I said, I will be streaming the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct later on this week. It should be Wednesday actually, so like in a couple days. So if you are interested in watching Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, I will be here at 5 o'clock in the morning, hopefully around there. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna stay up for the event. Probably not. I think I kind of want to get like some sleep, you know, somewhat. But like I said, we're gonna be having fun this week. A lot of content going on, and later next week-ish, I will be at the Nintendo Switch 2 live event playing some of the games that they are going to showcase here. Hopefully Pokemon Z8 is a part of that, or some crazy game like Fire Emblem, or a new Mario 3D Mario. Probably I get to play the Mario Kart. Who knows? We'll see. Can't wait to see. Like I said, prediction video will be here if you want to go ahead and watch that. And also just I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm extremely excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm cheesing right now though, but I'm extremely excited. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.